Welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer, and today I have a trope that I heavily love. This trope, I wish there were more like books with this trope in it, especially like some of like I can't even talk by some of my favorite authors. A lot of times when it comes to cheating or infidelity, they're usually like very short books. Some of them, like their plot is just like, and others are just like, why did I waste my time? Like, why did I waste my time on this? So yeah, so I just really wish that there were more cheating infidelity stories out there, like QP Tyler's Forget Me Not. Love that. That was like great, impeccable infidelity story. It made me cry, and I loved every minute of it. Anyways, I'm going to talk about a book I read on KU, and since I don't have it in front of me, that means it's not a KU physical buy, because I usually read my KUs that I don't know if I would like it, and if I do like it, like it makes me want to buy the physical copy, then I'll buy it. This one didn't. But because there's not a lot of infidelity or cheating book reviews out there, I might as well just make book reviews on the ones I've already read. I just finished this one yesterday. It's called Barron Second Chance, and it's a cheating redemption story by S.T. Morse. For this one, we have Eden, and Barron. That's our couple. They have been childhood friends for forever, and Eden has always had a crush on Barron for like the longest time. And I think it's freshman year when they get put into a situation where they're playing 7 Minutes of Heaven, and he finally like makes a move, and she finally like opens up about her feelings, and they've been together since. So it's their second to last year like of high school, and they go for summer break. She goes to Florida to visit her grandparents, and he is back home. She realizes like within the couple of weeks of her being in Florida or left in Florida, her boyfriend hasn't been responding back to her, and their friends keep saying that he keeps like blowing them off. So she's just like, what's going on? He doesn't like, he's usually very attentive. Like, I don't understand why he isn't calling me back, or at least speaking to me every day like he used to, saying hi, good morning, or something. I think it's like the last week of her being in Florida, her best friend calls her and says, hey, I'm sorry I have to tell you this, but I just saw Barron, and he was hugging, I think her name is Lavi, whatever her name is, starts with an L. And it's not Lauren, because I wish. No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be the other woman right now. Anyways, Eden's like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, I literally just saw him. He was like very hugged up on her. She was in his lap. And Eden's like, no, that can't be Barron. Barron would never do that to me, like ever. And so when she gets back to their place, their town, she calls him, and he's not calling her back. Like she's left messages, text messages saying like, hey, she's here. What's going on? Can we talk? Can we meet up? And he hasn't responded. So she decides to go to his house, and his mother opens the door and just like, oh my gosh, Eden, like I didn't know you guys were back. And Eden's asked her, could she speak to Barron? And she's like, I don't think this is a good time. Like, I know Barron said that, like, you guys have taken a break. And Eden's like, what? Barron said that we've broken up? And that's when his mother realizes that Barron never broke up with Eden. And he is at a pool party in the backyard. And Eden goes to the backyard and sees her boyfriend tonguing down the L girl, the LW, And when Simon, Barron's cousin, screams his name, he looks up and sees Eden, and she says, "No, it's okay. Keep doing what you do. I'm finally glad you told me that we've broken up." And then calmly walks out the house. He runs after her, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, like, can you please talk about this? Like, I didn't think this through, like, I'm sorry." And she's just like, "I don't want to hear it. I'm glad that, like, you found someone to satisfy your needs." And she walks to her house and closes the door. He tries to, like, have her talk to him somewhat, and it's just not happening for her. She has to go through the last year of school seeing her best friend turned first love with this other woman, and like having the relationship like flash in her face a lot. And it's very depressing for her. Very depressing. The first couple of months, she's just like not taking it well. She's crying a lot. But as time goes on, she is slowly getting over the fact that like Barron probably never loved her the way she thought he did. Oh my gosh, no, I don't cry. Her mother decides that she wants even take a break, get away from what's happening in their town, get away from Barron and his situation, because Eden's mother is best friends with Barron's mother. Like, that's how like they became childhood friends, because they were best friends. So it's putting a strain on both families because of that, especially since like Barron's mother doesn't like the other woman, and the father just thinks he's dumb for doing this to Eden. This is a dual perspective book, because Eden and Barron have like a few chapters, and we get like Barron's point of view somewhat in this like section where like he's just saying, oh, like the other woman put things in his head saying like, you know, like first loves, like high school love doesn't really last long. Like, well, I don't know why you're just like hung up on this. You're supposed to be exploring yourself. And he was going to tell Eden when she got back from Florida that maybe this last year they should take a break and like see what's out there before they like commit to each other, because he doesn't want to miss out on anything in his like last couple of years, and he doesn't want her to miss out on anything and all that kind of stuff. Like, that was his mind frame with the other woman just like putting it in his ear and all that kind of stuff. But he made his own decision, so it's his fault. Eden and her mother go to New York to just like spend a couple of like weekends there to just like relax and have fun, have a mother-daughter trip. And she gets recruited as a model at the airport in New York, and it's a legit gig. So she spends some of her weekends while in her last year of high school going to New York and doing all these shoots. And as soon as she turns 18 while in high school, she gets the biggest campaign of her starting modeling career. And she poses half nude, well, topless, in a billboard ad with a very, very handsome model. And that's when she finally tells everyone that she has been contracted by this, like, one of the best modeling agencies in the world. And that's her campaign. And Barron finally realizes that she probably isn't going to come back to him, because that's what he was hoping for. He realized after a couple of months that being without her has made him miserable. But since she's blocked him on all socials and won't talk to him at all, he's realized that like she doesn't want him, and he'll just take second best. And that's the other W. I said the other W. OW. And then we fast forward 8 years into the future, and she is striking that, just singing. She's a great model, and she comes back to town for the summer. Barron's mother is making a I guess you could call it like a community event, and has asked Eden's mother if Eden would be one of the hosts for modeling and how people get into modeling and what the modeling life is from a person who's been in it. That starts their rekindling of their romance. It wasn't like gut-wrenching. It didn't scratch my itch for infidelity tropes. This is like a 3 for me. A 2.75 if I'm like feeling very critical about it. I wanted more angst. I wanted more feelings involved with this, because yes, she went through a depression, but then like it glosses over a lot of like the in-between times of her being in a depression and then going to New York and then finding out that she's a perfect model. And then with him, he doesn't like, I guess he does have a redemption, but like it's not groveling per se. It just didn't, it wasn't like a great story to me. Like if this is someone's like first or second cheating trope book, then I think this would be perfect. But for someone who loves this wasn't good plot-wise. Barron, his whole like why he cheated. It wasn't even cheating. Yes, it was cheating because he didn't have sex. And his whole thinking of like why he did it, why he didn't break up with her during this like summer period, I was just like, that's like a very dumb reason. And usually I'm used to like, oh, like people are drunk, he's a rock star, he's supposed to cheat, like, you know, like that kind of mentality. But like for him to like just let some girl that he knows Eden doesn't like in his ear and just whisper sweet nothings to him about like how him and Eden aren't going to be together because they're high school sweethearts, it just seems so plebeian. Is that how I would say it? It was like a non-factor. You know what I mean? Like, if that would make you cheat on someone, then like a lot of people would get cheated on a lot. I'm just saying, like that little bit just inspire you to do it. I just don't understand. Like usually, I don't know, like Vegas. If it happened in Vegas, okay, then I can understand. But it didn't, and I just don't understand this concept of like the excuse. I just couldn't get past it. I was just thinking that Barron is just And then when we find out that like he, for those like the 8 years, he had been kind of like cyber stalking her, really was like into her, and he would like wank off to her like during those 8 years. It was just like, oh, it screams like very desperate. But then when you like finally meet her again, it doesn't give off that vibe. And I don't think I would want it to, but I kind of want you to understand, like, you have this one shot and you need to like go for it. But like he doesn't. He keeps messing up with like things that happen right before she comes. Just keeps getting brought up. And then her, on the other hand, there's like this backstory of like her being in the model industry and like going through like a wild phase, and we don't get that. We just get like, it's just been told to us. So there's no flashback, there's no her doing like an in-depth analysis of like her thoughts of going to these parties and just like being wild and doing all these like wild and crazy drugs and like men and all that kind of stuff. It's just telling us and not showing us. And I just wish that this book would have done that. Like in Kindle, this book is like 400 pages long, and it's not giving me anything that I want in 400 pages. Like, I just don't understand. I wish this was what I thought or wanted it to be, but it's not. But again, it's still a 3. So that's all I can say. I can rant about this because I love infidelity stories. Love them. But I can name you like some great infidelity stories that like you have to read, which I already have because I made videos on them. I think I even put them in like, I have like 3 videos for infidelity books that I've read that I think you should read. But yeah, so that was just it. It was just so. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer. I post a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Sunday. So please like and subscribe so you can see more from moi. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I see you in my next video. Bye!